Hello, welcome to Montour Creek in Spring Township. In this episode, we're going to talk about how land use and practices impact water quality. So, right now we're standing in Montour Creek. It's currently impaired due to sedimentation. So, how does sedimentation happen? Well, it's a combination of not having enough plant roots holding onto soil, maybe a combination of not having tree cover, vegetation along stream banks that are eroding, but it also could come down to land practices that aren't being managed properly. What happens with sedimentation is it all starts upstream where there's a site that erosion is taking place, soil erosion, large quantities of soil eroding into the stream, probably by every rainstorm, something like that. Flooding, it happens all the time. But just because there is large amounts of rainwater coming down doesn't mean that we should be losing our topsoil and our stream banks to erosion. There are ways around that, and in this episode and series of videos coming up, we're going to talk about how to stop soil erosion, keep your land where it needs to be so it can remain fruitful and productive, and also make a huge positive impact on our water quality. So if you take a look down here, this is a prime example of sedimentation and how it looks in a stream. So just by moving my foot a little bit, you can see the mud and the cloudiness that is happening. And these very small, fine particles are silt that comes out of our topsoil. Soil is composed of three main particles, and clay, silt, and sand. That is the texturing of how different things behave in the soil. So the finer particles are clay and silt. Sand is more gritty, and when it comes out of the banks and into the stream, you can see how it coats everything on the bottom. The rocks are covered in this silty stuff that's making them slippery and slick. And in the video series before, we actually pulled some bugs out of Sherman's Creek and Backen Creek and everything, and that water was relatively clear, and we were able to have success with pulling insects out of there because the water quality was nice. Now in Montour Creek, insects around here are few and far between, only because this silt and buildup that is on the stream bottom, it makes it hard for them to breathe. It makes it hard for them to move. Everything that they are trying to eat and build their homes with and reproduce, it's covered in this silty material. And you can see it coats plants and really stifles out the oxygen and sunlight that reaches the bottom of the creek. And that is not good, and that's not healthy. So we need to figure out how we can work and use productive use of our time and land to impact all of the things around us.